Have you ever imagined meeting a real scientist from history? Not in a book, not in a picture, but in real life. Today, you will travel back in time and spend one day with Marie Curie, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the first person to win it twice. This is not just a story. This is a journey into the life of a woman who changed science forever. Let's begin. It was a rainy afternoon. You were studying for a science test, but your eyes were tired. You looked around the library, hoping to find something more interesting. Then you saw it, a very old notebook with a dark green cover. There was no title, only 2 letters written in gold, MC. You opened it slowly. Inside, there were sketches of strange laboratory tools, numbers, and a small map of Paris. Suddenly, the page began to glow. The letters became brighter and brighter until everything around you disappeared. When you opened your eyes again, you weren't in the library. You were standing on a narrow street in Paris. Carriages passed by, and people wore long coats and hats. The sky was cloudy, and the air smelled like rain and smoke. Then a voice behind you said, "Are you lost?" You turned around. A woman with kind eyes was looking at you. She was wearing simple clothes and holding a notebook exactly like yours. "Don't be afraid," she said. "My name is Marie Curie." Your mouth opened in surprise. You're the scientist," she smiled. "Not yet. I'm still learning. Come, I'm going to the laboratory. You can join me if you want." You followed her down the street, still shocked. You were really walking next to Marie Curie. The laboratory was small and cold. The windows were broken in some places. The tables were full of dark stones, metal tools, and glass bottles. Marie put her notebook on the table and said, "This place does not look like much, but great discoveries begin in small rooms." She handed you a black rock. "This is pitch blender," she explained. "It is a special mineral. I believe it hides something powerful." You felt the rock. It was heavier than it looked. Marie continued, "I have a goal. I want to find a new element, something the world has never seen." As she spoke, she began to heat a sample over a burner. You could see the determination in her eyes. Outside, the wind blew loudly. Inside, Marie worked silently, writing numbers and checking equipment. She noticed you watching and said, "Science is not only about intelligence, it is about patience, curiosity, hard work." Then she gave you a simple task. "Stir this mixture very slowly. Don't stop, even when your arm gets tired." You stirred for almost an hour. Your arm hurt, but Marie didn't stop working either. She smiled when she saw your tired hand. "Now you understand," she said softly. "This is the real science." In the evening, Marie invited you to her small home. It was warm and simple, books everywhere, a broken lamp, a table with only 2 plates. "I don't have much," she said, "but I have enough." As you ate, Marie told you her story. "I was born in Poland, but women could not study at the university there, so I came to France." She took a deep breath. "It was not easy. I worked as a tutor. I translated texts. I studied at night, in the cold, with an empty stomach." You asked her, "Why didn't you give up?" She looked at you seriously. "Because knowledge is power. And I wanted to discover something important, something that could help people." For a moment, the room became very quiet. Then Marie asked you, "Tell me, what is your dream?" You hesitated, but then you told her about school, your goals, your fears, your family expectations. Marie listened without interrupting. Finally, she said, "Dreams are heavy, like the pitch blend, but if you carry them with courage, they become light, and then they become real." The next morning, you returned to the laboratory with Marie. Her husband, Pierre Curie, was there too, tall, friendly, a little shy. You have an assistant today? He asked Marie. Yes, she said proudly, a very good one. Together, the three of you worked for hours, heating minerals, breaking stones, writing observations, testing strange glowing powders. Then, suddenly, the room became bright. A small pile of material on the table was shining with a soft blue light. Marie gasped. Pierre whispered, "Is that—" "Yes," Marie said, her hands shaking. "This must be radium." The light grew stronger. It looked like a tiny star. Marie turned to you. "Remember this moment," she said. "Great discoveries often come from small steps, and from people who refuse to stop." You felt something warm inside your chest. You had witnessed a discovery that changed science forever. Before you left, Marie walked with you outside. Paris was calm. The sun was rising. "I cannot go with you to your world," she said, "but take this advice." She looked into your eyes. Be curious, ask questions, work hard even when no one is watching, and never let anyone tell you that you cannot learn. Then she placed something in your hand, the old notebook. When you return, open this again. You will remember everything. The world began to shake. The street disappeared. The air became bright. When you opened your eyes, you were back in the library. The notebook was in your hand. But now, the gold letters were clear. Marie Curie. Notes of discovery. You smiled. You knew it was real. And you knew that Marie's words would stay with you forever. Marie Curie once said, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood." Today, you didn't just learn English. You didn't only learn history. You learned courage, the kind of courage that changed the world.